Welcome back to our channel, you guys. Today is a beautiful day outside, but in the soap world, it is an absolute storm of chaos, heartbreak, and pure anxiety. I am sitting here staring at my screen, typing as fast as my fingers will let me before my deadline, and I am honestly just still trying to catch my breath after what we just witnessed. So let's just get right into it because my head is completely spinning and I need to vent. Brooke Logan Forrester was on her way back to Los Angeles. We all know she has been away at that wellness retreat, trying to clear her head and process the absolute devastating betrayal of Hope defecting to Logan Creations. And she was finally flying back on a Forrester private jet to face Hope to look her daughter in the eye and deal with this mess. But guys, the jet had a massive, catastrophic malfunction mid-flight. The breaking news just hit that the plane completely lost its radar signal. It just vanished. 1 minute it is blipping on the air traffic control screens, and the next it is just gone. Dead air. Nothing. I mean, what were the writers thinking dropping this massive bomb on us right now? We are already drowning in so much corporate warfare and family drama, and now we have a missing plane. And you just know how these soap opera plane crashes go. It is never just a simple emergency landing on a safe runway. The radar goes dark, the panic sets in, and we are left screaming at our televisions. I have been covering this show for years, and every time someone gets on a private jet, you just have to hold your breath. But Brooke, the ultimate matriarch, the woman who literally just evicted her daughter from the cabin and violently slapped her sister across the face. She was flying back to confront the massive wreckage she left behind in Los Angeles. And now she might not even make it home alive. It is just so much to take in all at once. I am honestly a bit tired of the constant, relentless trauma they put Brooke through year after year, but at the same time, I cannot look away. It is gripping television. Let's be real. But the timing of this tragedy is what really, truly gets me. Think about Hope Logan Spencer for a second. Hope is literally just recovering from a severe panic attack. We just saw her faint and completely collapse unconscious on the floor of the Logan Gallery because the emotional trauma of Brooke disowning her was just too much for her fragile state to handle. Liam Spencer was frantically trying to revive her, begging her to wake up. And right as Hope is finally coming to, right as she is blinking her eyes open, trying to catch her breath and figure out where she is, this horrific news breaks. Can you even imagine that level of whiplash? You wake up from passing out because you broke your mother's heart, only to find out your mother's plane just fell out of the sky. So Hope is just completely engulfed in this overwhelming, crushing, suffocating guilt. It is eating her alive right there on the floor of the office. Because what were the last words she said to Brooke? They were a bitter, horrible lie about loyalty. Hope lied about the Logan defection. She hid her contract. She used Deke Sharp as a decoy to throw Brooke off the scent. She manipulated the woman who gave her life. And Brooke was so shattered by those lies that she delivered that devastating ultimatum and kicked Hope out. And now Hope is sitting there hyperventilating all over again, realizing that her final conversation with her mom was just toxic, bitter anger and deception. What if she never gets to say she is sorry? What if that bitter lie is the last thing Brooke ever hears from her daughter? It is so incredibly tragic. Maybe I'm being too dramatic about this, but you guys know how intense Hope gets when she feels guilty. This is going to break her completely. She is going to spiral, and I don't know if Liam can pull her back this time. And then we have Ridge Forrester. Oh my God, you guys, Ridge is absolutely losing his mind. He is going completely feral. The man just found out his Logan is missing in a plane crash, and he is completely snapped. Ridge immediately flips a switch and goes into full, unhinged panic mode. He is mobilizing every single resource Forrester Creations has at its disposal. He is calling security. He is calling private investigators. He is screaming at Charlie Weber. He is demanding answers from anyone who will listen. Ridge is frantic, and you can see the sheer, unfiltered terror in his eyes. He is pacing the CEO office like a caged animal. Because let's look at the history here. Let's zoom out for a second. Ridge and Brooke have been married 9 times. 9. They have divorced 8 times. They have put each other through absolute hell and back over the decades. But at the end of the day, she is his Logan. He cannot function without her in his orbit. Even with all the corporate war going on right now, even with him physically punching Bill Spencer in the face recently over the fashion house rivalry, all of that just evaporates in an instant. The failed haute couture fashion show doesn't matter anymore. The rivalry with Logan Creations doesn't matter. All Ridge cares about is finding Brooke. It is honestly heartbreaking to watch him scramble like this, looking so entirely helpless despite all his immense wealth and power. But then the story takes a massive, chilling twist. The rescue teams actually find the wreckage of the plane. They locate it in this super remote, dense, unforgiving forest area. The helicopter spotlights hit the twisted, smoking metal in the trees. But here is the kicker, the thing that made me scream at my screen. They search the wreckage, they dig through the debris, and there is no body. Brooke is not in the plane. She is gone. She is just gone. Where is she? Did she survive the crash and wander off into the woods in a daze? Is she severely injured? Does she have amnesia? You know how much this show loves a good amnesia storyline. I swear, if Brooke is wandering around the forest not knowing who she is while her family is tearing themselves apart, I am going to lose my mind. But it just adds this insane, agonizing layer of suspense to the whole thing. So the minute the wreckage is found and Brooke is declared officially missing, Bill Spencer enters the chat. And oh boy, Bill is not holding back one bit. Bill immediately deploys his own massive fleet of helicopters and the special ops team from Spencer Publications. Yes, Spencer Publications apparently has a highly trained special ops team now, because of course they do. It's Bill Spencer. Bill is absolutely determined to find Brooke. But it's not just about saving her life. It is about beating Ridge. It is always a billionaire measuring contest between these two alpha males. Bill wants to be the ultimate hero. He wants to find Brooke before Ridge does to prove his bravery, to prove his absolute superiority and ability. He wants to be the one to carry Brooke out of those dark woods, look Ridge dead in the eye, and say, "I saved her, and you couldn't." It is so toxic, so incredibly toxic, but so perfectly on brand for Dollar Bill Spencer. He is barking orders from his tower, looking smug, but also genuinely, deeply frantic. Because despite everything, Bill does care about Brooke. He has a deep, passionate history with her too. But his massive ego is just driving this insane, expensive search war between the Forrester choppers and the Spencer choppers. It is literally a race against time, but it is also a race of egos in the sky. And while the billionaires are fighting over the search grid and trying to outdo each other, Katie Logan is completely falling apart on the ground. Katie is having a massive, earth-shattering breakdown. She is drowning in a sea of regret. Just a few episodes ago, Brooke violently slapped Katie across the face. A hard, vicious, stinging slap because Katie resigned from Forrester and started a rival company and dared to use the family name Logan. They had this huge, nasty, bitter dispute over the brand intellectual property. Brooke declared Katie her #1 enemy. And Katie was so proud of her corporate victory, so smug about stealing Hope and launching the line with the HFTF diamond. But now Katie is sobbing uncontrollably in her office. She is realizing that all this business success, all the runway hits, the media buzz, the advance orders, it means absolutely nothing. It is all completely worthless if she loses her sister. What does a fashion brand matter if the person you grew up with, the person who shares your blood, is dead in a forest? Katie is just wrecked by the harsh reality of her choices. She pushed Brooke over the edge, she orchestrated the defection that broke Brooke's heart, and she drove Brooke to that wellness retreat in the first place. The guilt Katie is feeling has to be astronomical. I honestly feel bad for her, even though she brought a lot of this on herself with her ruthless business tactics. Okay, that sounded harsh. Maybe I'm being harsh, but you get what I mean. She played a dirty game, and now the consequences are life and death. Then we have to talk about Taylor Hayes. Poor, long-suffering Taylor. She is always caught in the crossfire of Brooke's endless drama. But right now, Taylor is actually stepping up in a huge, admirable way. She is suppressing all her own personal feelings, all her history of bitter rivalry with Brooke, to be a rock for her children. Steffy and Thomas are obviously deeply affected by this tragedy. Steffy is dealing with the immediate fallout, and Taylor is just trying to comfort her, holding her together. Taylor is putting aside decades of bad blood, decades of fighting over Ridge, to just be a mother and a therapist to her family during a massive crisis. This tragedy really threatens to blur all the lines of love and hate in this entire family. The Forresters and the Logans have been at absolute war lately. Steffy was just plotting ruthless, aggressive revenge against Hope and Katie. Ridge was declaring all-out war on the Spencers. But a tragedy like this, it forces everyone to just stop. It forces them to look at each other and realize how incredibly fragile life is. The corporate war suddenly feels so petty, so small and insignificant. Steffy is exhausted. She is completely drained from trying to do extreme damage control for Eric's failed haute couture show and fighting Hope's new brand. And now she is sick with worrying for her stepmother and for her father, who is losing his mind. The exhaustion is written all over Steffy's face. But of course, because this is the bold and the beautiful, there is always someone lurking in the dark shadows waiting to take advantage of a family tragedy, and that someone is Sheila Carter. Ooh, Sheila, I just can't even with her right now. Sheila is secretly thrilled about this plane crash. She is sitting there in the shadows with that creepy, sinister smile on her face, just hoping and praying that Brooke disappears forever. Why? Because Sheila is the ultimate opportunist. She thrives on chaos. Sheila just signed those divorce papers to free Deacon, and she immediately used them to manipulate Finn. She ambushed Finn at his hospital office, crying fake tears, and actually got him to agree to talk to Steffy about giving her another chance. Finn made a catastrophic, naive mistake agreeing to that. And Sheila knows that Steffy is the only real obstacle standing in her way of getting to Hayes. But right now, Steffy is exhausted. Steffy is completely distracted, vulnerable, and emotionally drained by the frantic search for Brooke. Her defenses are down. She is not operating at 100%. So Sheila sees this as the perfect golden opening. If Brooke is gone, the family is in deep mourning, Steffy is weak and distracted, and Sheila can easily manipulate Finn without Steffy having the energy to fight back. It is so sick and twisted. Sheila is literally using a potentially fatal plane crash to further her own selfish agenda to get access to her grandson. It creates this incredibly tense, multi-layered dynamic. While Ridge and Bill are fighting a loud, aggressive search war in the skies with their helicopters, Sheila is fighting a quiet, psychological war on the ground, preying on a distracted and grieving family. It is a tense search war on all fronts. I just keep thinking about how this is all going to play out next week. Are they going to find Brooke trapped in a cabin somewhere? Did someone pull her from the wreckage? Or is she just wandering around the wilderness with a severe head injury? And how is Hope going to survive this suffocating guilt? If Brooke does come back, will she ever forgive Hope after seeing how close she came to death? Or will the trauma make her forget the betrayal entirely? The writers have so many different ways they can take this, and my brain is just fried from overthinking it. Honestly, it is just a messy, chaotic, deeply emotional storyline, and I am here for it, even if I am exhausted by watching it. I mean, who actually believes this is going to end well for everyone involved? Someone is going to get hurt, someone is going to use this tragedy for leverage, and the corporate war is going to get even dirtier once the dust finally settles. But for now, we just have to wait and see if the Spencer Special Ops team or the Forrester security team finds our missing Logan first. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, because I need to know I am not the only one stressing over this.